Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome back to Grammie's Book Nook. I hope you've all had a wonderful day. It's a start to a new week, so I know that there are lots of exciting things ahead for you in the week before you. Lots of learning to do, and I know you're all doing a great job. So today I'm going to read a book that was one of my children's very favorites when they were little. We read this at bedtime quite a few times. It's called Sailor Dog, and it's written by a lady named Margaret Brown. And the illustrations in the book are by Garth Williams. So, before I get started today, I realized that there's some people that I haven't said hello to in a little while. So I'd like to say hello to 3 of my very special friends right now. One is Zael. I really miss you. And then there's Devin and Christopher. And I miss you as well. Devin, I'm really a little bit concerned about when I'm going to be seeing you the next time, because you'll be going to a different school next year. But I'm sure we'll catch up. So let's get started with our book for today. Granny glasses on, and here we go. There's a dog out on the sea. That's the sailor dog. Born at sea in the teeth of a gale, the sailor was a dog. Scuppers was his name. Oh my goodness, he looks like quite the adventurer. After that, he lived on a farm. But Scuppers, born at sea, was really a sailor at heart. And when he grew up, he wanted to go to sea. So, he went to look for something to go in. He found a big airplane. All aboard, they called. It was going up in the sky. But Scuppers didn't want to go up in the sky. So he keeps traveling on, looking for his ship. The next thing he found was a little submarine. All aboard, they called. It was going down under the sea, but Scuppers didn't want to go down under the sea. So he found a little car. All aboard, they called. It was going over the land, but Scuppers did not want to go over the land. Then he found a subway train. All aboard, they called. It was going under the ground. But Scuppers didn't want to go under the ground. I love that little car. I love all of the little animals in the car going off on a great adventure, but that's not where Scuppers wanted to go. Oh, it looks like he might be having some success here. He looks very happy. Scuppers was a sailor. He wanted to go to sea. So Scuppers went over the hills and far away until he came to the ocean. And on the ocean was a ship. It was blowing all its whistles. All aboard, they called. All ashore that's going ashore. All aboard, all aboard. Well, those must have been very exciting words for Scuppers to hear. So, here he is. He took the invitation and he's off at sea. Let's see what kind of adventures he has. So, Scuppers went to sea. The ship began to move slowly along. The wind blew it. In his ship, Scuppers had a little room, and in his room, he had a hook for his hat, He had a hook for his rope. He had a hook for his pants, and a hook for his coat, and a hook for his spyglass, and a place for his shoes, and a bunk for a bed to put himself in. At night, Scuppers threw the anchor into the sea and went down into his little room. Oh my goodness. Doesn't he look cozy in his little bed with his beautiful quilt over him? He looks so comfy. He hung his hat on the hook for his hat, and his rope on the hook for his rope, and his pants on the hook for his pants, and his coat on the hook for his coat, and his spyglass on the hook for his spyglass, and he put his shoes under the bed and got into his bed, which was a bunk, and he went to sleep. Uh-oh, it looks like things didn't go quite the way he planned. The next morning, he found that he had been shipwrecked. Too big a storm blew out of the sky. The anchor dragged and the ship crashed onto the rocks. And there was a big hole in the side of his ship. Scuppers himself was washed overboard and hurled by big waves onto the shore. It was foggy and it was rainy, and there were no houses, and Scuppers really needed a house. But on the beach was lots and lots of driftwood, and an old rusty box was sticking out of the sand. Oh, maybe it was a treasure, Scuppers thought. Ooh, what a busy little puppy he is. It was a treasure to Scuppers. It was an old-fashioned toolbox with a hammer and nails and an axe and a saw. Everything he needed to build himself a house. So Scuppers started to build a house all by himself out of driftwood. He built a door and a window and a roof and a porch and a floor and some walls, all out of driftwood. And he found himself some red bricks, and he built a big red chimney. And then he lit a fire, and the smoke went right up the chimney. Oh my goodness, he's a very talented little puppy, I would say. And here he is, he's figuring out what he's going to do. So he decides he's going to get something to eat, apparently. Let's see here. After building his house, he was really hungry. So he went fishing. He went fishing in a big river. The first fish he caught never came up. The second fish he caught got away. The third fish he caught was just too little. But the next fish he caught was just right. That night, he cooked the fish he caught, and the smoke went up the chimney. Now it's getting dark, and our little puppy friend Scuppers needs to figure out where he's going to sleep. Then the stars came out, and he was so sleepy. So he made a bed of pine branches, and he jumped into his deep green bed and went to sleep. And as he slept, he dreamed. In his dream, he thought, if I could build a house, I can mend a hole in my ship. And he's dreaming about it. and it's coming to him what he needs to do to make his ship ready to go back to the sea. He's a very smart puppy. So he got his ship all patched up, and now he's off on his adventures again. And it looks like he's in quite an interesting place. So the next day, at low tide, he took his toolbox out and he waded with his hammer, planks, and nails, and saw, and axe, and began to get to work to patch up the hole in the side of his ship. And at last, his ship was fixed. It was a lot of work. He sailed away until he came to a seaport in a faraway land. By now, his clothes were all worn and ripped and blown to pieces. His shirt was all torn. His hat and coat were gone, and his shoes were all worn out. Only his pants were still good. He needs to do a little shopping, I would say. So off he goes to the store and he buys himself some new clothes and some new shoes. And I have to tell you, he is a very handsome dog. So he went ashore to buy some clothes. And he decided that he was going to go to the Army-Navy store. First, he bought a coat. He found a red one, but it was too small. But then he found a blue one that fit just right. It had brass buttons on it that were very shiny. And then he bought a hat. He found a purple one, but it looked too silly. But then he found a white one and thought, ooh, this one is just right. He needed new shoes. He found some yellow ones, but guess what? They were just too small. And then he found some red ones that had curly toes, but no, they were just too silly and too fancy for him. And then he found some white shoes, and you guessed it, they were just right. Here he is, wearing all of his new clothes, his beautiful blue jacket with the shiny buttons, his nice white hat that fits just right, and the perfect comfy white shoes. He did a great job shopping. Oh my goodness. And he has a new rope, and he bought a bushel of fresh oranges to take on his trip with him. And now he wants to go right back to his ship. He wants to get ready to sail away again, and it looks like he's got everything he needs to do just that. Oh, there he is, sailing off in the high seas. He's happy now. And at night, when the stars came out, he takes, oh, did I skip a page? Hold on a second here. No? I thought I did, but I didn't. And at night, when the stars come out, he takes one last look through his spyglass, and then he goes down below to his little room. He hangs his new coat on the hook for his coat, and he hangs his new hat on the hook for his hat, and he hangs his spyglass on the hook for his spyglass, and he hooks his pants on the hook for his pants, and his new rope on the hook for his rope, and he puts his new shoes under his bunk, and himself he puts right into his cozy bunk and gets all covered up with this beautiful colored blanket. And here is where he wants to be, a sailor sailing in the deep green sea. there he is, sailing along, and he has a song. And his song is just a lovely little song for a sailor dog. He says, I am Scuppers the sailor dog. I'm Scuppers the sailor dog. I can sail in a gale, ride over a whale, under full sail in a fog. I'm Scuppers the sailor dog. I'm Scuppers the sailor dog. With a shake and a snort, I can sail into port, under full sail in a fog. Oh my goodness, I love that book. I like to see people do the things that they enjoy doing and to have adventures. I hope you like adventures too, because life can be pretty dull without adventures once in a while. So that was our book for today. When we come back the next time, I have some more Lucy adventures that I'd like to share with you. That's one of my favorite series of books. So we've come to the end of our time together today. And you know the way we always finish. And most of the reason why we finish this way every day is because sometimes we might have new people coming to visit us in the Book Nook that might not know how important it is for us to be washing our hands several times a day. So it's a good reminder for all of us, because it's easy to forget, we get busy, and it's good to share with new people as well. So are we all ready? Okay, get ready. Sleeves up. Everybody got your sleeves up? You got your hands all set? You got the words remembered? You know I have trouble with that sometimes, but I'm going to do my very best today. So here we go. We're going to wash those germs away, strong and healthy every day. We make wise choices so we stay well. We're going to wash those germs away. We're going to wash those germs away, strong and healthy every day. We make wise choices so we stay well. We're going to wash those germs away. We make wise choices in every way. We're going to wash those germs away. Okie dokie. Have a good rest of the day, and I'll look forward to seeing you the next time here in Grammie's Book Nook. Bye.